This is an aspect that we see as fully political, a part of what we could define our practice of the common, a moment of reappropriation of that culture plus value socially produced and taken away from its fair distribution by capitalistic culture. I'm done. And what about the crisis? The crisis that we all speak about. In the crisis, culture suffers of public funding cuts, and this goes far beyond Italy, where already before the crisis, before 2008, precariousness was the only condition known by the cognitive living labor. It is against the shameful call for austerity in Europe that movements are now mobilizing and demonstrating against the backdrop of a rising global market violence, a financial speculation over default risks, a narrowing of welfare, and a difficulty of imagining new reformist options. Everywhere we need to find the common of multitudes, to break the fragmentation of labor, genre, and origin relations, like in Rome a few days ago. We were there with Sandra, some picture. We must, to use a term created by Brian Holmes, we must recapture that subversion that cultural industry often used as an engine for its own success. We must be able to answer on a large scale to the capitalistic use of crisis. So what about art in this discourse? Don't we run the risk to give it a token role? A bit player useful only to decorate second-generation social centers. We could easily answer this question underlining our limited interest in what today the institutional system calls art, especially when represented as New Yorkaism, for example, the artist, the curator, the piece, the museum, etc. We could and we can claim that we are more interested in the social and network dimension of cultural production, especially in our 2.0 time. We could and we can claim that the primacy of the production of new forms of life which belongs to social movements or to queer identities. Everything true, but it does not solve the problem of recapturing the subversive potential that the art system can easily diffuse. I think it remains then an open problem, and the open problem is the relationship between artistic experimentation and the practice of the common. Artists, maybe really because of the progressive confusion of the borders between art, politics, and work, they see the self-organizing dimension typical of the social spaces and of social centers as a potential threat to their freedom, while they find themselves comfortable inside the smooth space of the art system, a space in which, apart from some gross censorship cases, they never have to worry about the position of their work, not just in regard to the existing social relations, but also within the same relations. It is clear then that this limit can be reversed into an opportunity. The porousness between art, labor, and politics can simply be described as a condition in which mass intellectuality, to use a Virno term, has to find new ways to lead its destiny. What is at stake here is not so much the need to create new social centers in which artists can feel at ease, but the need to affirm art as a common production, allergic to capitalistic measure and to property logic. Surely enough, this is an old or modern, let's say, brain teaser to which there exists no universal answer. But what do exist are contexts where this problem affects metropolitan and social portions way beyond the narrow borders of the specialistic art debate. It is there, in new but materialistic terms, that is necessary, at least for me, to keep setting us this problem. So, thank you.